Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another beautiful sunny day here on the Stoney Ridge Farm in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. We have a little bit of work to do with Little T. Little T ain't no fool. Little T is a cool little tractor. This is our TYM T254 Tractor and it's got the backhoe attachment. I'm gonna take you over here and we're gonna show you, we've got a bit of a mosquito nest problem going on. And mosquitoes, I don't know if you can see them, but they're flying around my head. It's springtime and the ditches stay full. The road overflows right here and you can see where the gravel looks a little bit different. So this ditch does not slope properly. So what we're going to be doing today is taking Little T and the Little T backhoe. This is the TYM BY60 backhoe, and we're going to straighten out this swamp. This is a mess. This continues to be a mess, and it's just not sloped properly all the way from the mailbox all the way down. So what we're going to do today is dress this up, and I'll talk to you a little bit more. We'll have some fun working the tractor, and we're also going to install a culvert pipe extension on my driveway because the FedEx man and the UPS man keeps running off in my ditch. Come along guys, we're going to have a little bit of fun solving some simple problems here on the farm today and working with the little backhoe. It's going to be awesome. Woo!
I ain't afraid of work, I ain't afraid of play, I ain't afraid to get the job done and do it my own damn way. I ain't afraid of life times like this. If you mess with my freedom, I'll tell you just what you can kiss. That's right.
Okay, what was I saying about slope? Here's where we are. More water. Now this water goes away typically after 2 to 3 days, so we don't really have a mosquito problem down here so much as we do way down that direction, okay? So all the way down the fence lines where we're working. What I did several years back, in this driveway you can only get up to about where that smooth spot is. You can only get just about 100 feet up the driveway before you had to put it in 4-wheel drive when we bought our property. All of this pasture land was growed up in brush. So what I did earlier, about 5 years ago, you had to take a real sharp turn to get in here. So I added a 4-foot section of culvert pipe right here. Now, what I'm having to do, because the FedEx and the UPS man and the Amazon delivery guys, I mean, they're coming in here constantly. There's a box already sitting here. I'm gonna add another 4-foot section of pipe. We've got some more gravel coming, and I'm gonna make it easier for these guys to turn around versus coming down here and pulling them out of the ditch. That is not fun. So coming down and pulling the FedEx man or the UPS man out of the ditch is not what we're all about here on the farm. So we're gonna fix that problem today, and we're gonna fix the swamp over there. You can see I got a package already. You're gonna see another problem area. See how the gravel's all gravelly right here, and it's smooth right here, and it's smooth right there? It's been running over the road here too. So what we have is a rise right here. It rises up, it drops down to my ditch, it rises up to right here, and then from here, it goes back down and rises up just before it dumps over into another ditch. So we've got water problems. There's always constant water problems. Some piece of advice to give you guys when you buy your property is think about water, because if you buy a hilly property, you're gonna have issues with erosion and water control, and you wanna control that water. You want it to stay on your farm. That's why we're building all these ponds. Now you heavy equipment guys that do this for a living can probably just blink your eyes and tell me exactly what I need to do to fix this mess right here. I, however, am a farmer guy. So my thought process is to take the tractor, to back right over top of the ditch, to lay out the outriggers, and to start at the far end and work my way this way, okay? We need this ditch, and it's actually got frogs. There's frogs in that ditch. It's been there for so long holding so much water. I'm gonna show you how this operates before we even get started. We've got to pull a few pins and fire up the little TYM. Best piece of advice I can give any tractor owner or operator: get your butt in the seat before you start the machine. This is a hydrostatic tractor. In other words, it's got a foot pedal you push to go forward and a foot pedal you push to go backwards. These are the controls for the backhoe attachment, and I'll show you what we have to do. We've got to loosen the backhoe attachment. I've got it pinned into place right now. Reach down here, pull that pin out. Good to go there. There's a storage toolbox right up here for putting all your pins and stuff in. And actually I need to put the pocket knife in there too. Got to keep a pocket knife Gerber pocket knife in every tractor. We got another pin down here. We want to make sure that it's loose. The way it works is it just keeps the hydraulics from sagging. In other words, it won't let this thing kind of droop down. And any hydraulics on any machine like this are gonna fall down. So we'll pull our pin and then slide this guy out, and I drop the pin. There it is, that little guy and that little guy. Now we've got full movement up and down and side to side. And we're gonna center this critter. Let's bring it on in. I've never used this backhoe attachment, guys, so we're gonna get this guy all curled up and centered in position, and we're gonna back down through the swamp and start digging. Now I've got my brakes set. I'm gonna take my bucket, I'm gonna set it out flat, and I'm gonna drop my outriggers. Now something that's really cool about this tractor is the seat. Check this guy out. This is, again, the first time I've done this, but it's supposed to lift up and turn around. Pretty neat. Let's see. Ah, there it is. All the way back, pull that handle. That's so cool. So it just whips up and turns around. Little T has just about done the job, and I made a mess. It is simply too doggone wet to be out here trying to move dirt around and make it look neat. So we need it functional first, and we got it functional. It's draining my swamp. My mosquito pit is finally draining, so very, very happy with that. What we'll probably do is get the big tractor down here while it's a little soft, and we'll run the big tires over this and kind of smooth the edges of this bank. There's nothing I can do with a bucket right now to fix this up, so it's just too wet. So this is another project for late summer on the Stoney Ridge once things dry out, but you can see it's draining. There's a river. Hopefully no more skeeters. This little thing is impressive. This little 254, that little backhoe, it's like a Mini X, man, and the cost of it versus the cost of a $40,000 Mini X, that's a whole lot cooler machine. You do have to get on and off of it to move around a little bit, so in other words, every time I move forward, I have to get off and move the tractor forward. So a Mini X would be a lot handier, but a lot more expensive. Let's go put the culvert in. Little T tackled that job down there, no problem. Now, Will little T pick up that big old heavy piece of culvert pipe down there? That's the big question. And special guest, by request, Daddy Stoney Ridge in the house.
Howdy, folks.
Good stuff. So Dad's gonna help out a little bit, putting some straps on and getting this done. Got a little bit of ditch work to do by hand. Got my shovel out here. We're gonna shovel out and clean this out. The pipe is actually backwards, so it needs to be flipped over the other way and slid into place. If you guys have never put in a culvert pipe or you don't know a whole heck of a lot about this, what we got here are sections. These are 4-foot sections. This is a 12-inch culvert pipe. I think if I called the state, they'd probably come and put it in, but why waste tax dollars when I've got the machinery to do it myself? First thing we're gonna do is clean this out, and there's a male and a female end. That's the male end, that's the female end, and that's the female end. No, that's a male. So we gotta mate the male to the male. The female to the female just doesn't work in this case, guys. So the goal here, guys, is to expose the entire face of this so that it matches up perfectly. So I'm digging down a little deep and you can see it's puddling up water. It'd be nice if I could get that water out of here, but for right now I cannot. So here we are, shoveling water. Here's your opportunity to tell me everything I'm doing wrong. So this is lower than this back here. So I'm gonna have to dig back a little ways, but the pipe is right behind my butt. So we're gonna have to get the tractor, slide this pipe back, actually flip this pipe back over before we start sliding. And our pipe area here where they're gonna mate up is pretty much prepped. I'd like to have this water out of here, but in a dream world, things happen wonderfully and you can just use equipment, but in this case, can't just use equipment, gotta use a little back braking. That worked out a lot better than I thought it would. That backhoe is a lot more powerful than I thought. When you've got a backhoe on a piece of equipment like this, really the weight of the equipment is what matters, and the strength of the hydraulic system on the backhoe. It really didn't work it too hard. It was easy to turn that pipe over, which, you know, is not a major job, but it's a job. So getting this thing all mated up is going to be a bit of a challenge too. I'm going to do a little bit more handwork, and I don't even think that we'll have to strap it and slide it in. I think we'll just be able to take the teeth on the bucket and match it right up. I think it's going to be pretty simple. Ain't it fun watching somebody else work? I think we're about ready, kids. You know what's funny is the guy that taught me how to use a shovel is the superintendent of this project.
My hands is tender.
learned how to shovel in pig poop. This beats pig poop. We got some shovel work ahead of us. I think the answer, come on in here, Pops. I think the answer is, what do you think? Can Little T handle this kind of stuff? This is Little T, the tractor.
Yeah.
I pity the fool that I pity the fool that dogs Mr. Little T. We got Mr. T. You haven't seen the big tractor yet, have you? He's gonna see Big T, Mr. T, Big T. So, guys, did a good job. Now I gotta get some rock. I've got a couple scoops of rock. We'll layer over this, and now the FedEx man will no longer fall off in this hole and break my driveway markers. This is a driveway marker. It's supposed to have a reflector on the end of it. That's what happens. Guys, thanks a lot for joining us today here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Please pound that like button. We'd love to see you back. We'll put Little T to work again. It's been a good time. Thanks, Dad, for helping.
Sure.
All right. See y'all next time. Woo!
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.
Stoney Ridge. Itchy, back itchy. Got another. Okay. Guys, if those cows would just quit farting, we wouldn't have these problems. It's not my Mercedes. It's those cow farts that are destroying our environment. The methane. Not methane. Energy. Guys, if you think cow farts are destroying the universe, please post a comment down there. My cows don't fart. They're vegan. We all know vegans don't fart. Beans never make anybody fart.